Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 41 of my ongoing Let's Play Battle Brothers series. Now today we are of course continuing on to Last Hope's End, where we'll try our luck against a group of skeletal undead. But before that, like I said, Lost Man's Shelter. Well, we'll come back for that a little later. Right now we're trying to chase down this small group of orc warriors as a quick warm-up fight. Unfortunately, their group is so much smaller than ours that they're outrunning us pretty efficiently here. Okay, we got close enough to trigger the fight, so let's get in there. And hopefully this shouldn't take us too long. Though forest terrain's going to slow us down, and of course, those orc warriors are essentially armored tanks. I'll be eager to see how our war bows work against them. Looks like we've got at least 3 orc warriors here. There could be a 4th one hiding back there somewhere, but it's more likely it's just another orc young. And they're coming our way. Now it should theoretically be easy to hit these guys with the war bows. The big question is going to be whether we'll do any appreciable damage to their armor. Wojtek starts us off, he lands 2 hits, and... Oh, well, he hit the wrong target, but inflicted a piercing chest wound on that orc young in the back. Yeah, we're definitely inflicting a chunk of damage every time we hit these guys with the war bows. We may actually be able to trim off a lot of their armor before they reach our front lines. So it's not great, but I can work with that. As long as we're not fighting too many orc warriors or too many foes in general. Bombarding these guys with arrows should work. You'll also notice, of course, that most of the time we hit these guys, that little flying arrow emblem appears above their head. That's a stacking debuff that we're applying thanks to one of the perks we picked, Overwhelm, I believe. Every time we hit someone with that, it's a cumulative minus 10% penalty to their accuracy for their next attack. So not only are we tearing up their armor, but we're also making it much harder for them to hit once they do move up to engage us. Let's go ahead and keep our spears at the ready for the moment. The longer we delay these guys, the more we can tear their armor apart, and forgot to equip Rondus's shield. There we go. Round 3. Well, so much for maintaining the spear wall. That charging orc young just stunned Kazarin, though he also got an arrow through the kidney for his trouble. And there we go. Henry finishes off our first orc foe, and the archers continue bombarding the approaching warriors. And we've got about 50% of the armor off of these 2 lead orc warriors so far. That's definitely not bad. Crossbows would be a little more effective against these guys because they have a higher armor penetration rating. But the bows are still getting some definite results. Unfortunately, it looks like 2 of the 3 orc warriors have now moved into cover. We can't target them with any more ranged attacks until they come out of those bushes. Well, we'll focus fire on these guys up here for now. And there's Wojtek putting an arrow through the remaining orc young's hand. Alessandro puts an arrow through the orc's shoulder as well. Oh, and look at that. The steady barrage of arrows has broken that orc warrior's morale. I guess we should probably engage him before he starts fleeing. And, in case you somehow missed it, we also finished off the last of the orc young. Now these 2 orc warriors are slightly more concerning. Eraton quickly turned one of them away, but they're hovering just out of our spear reach, so let's go ahead and engage them now. We could keep trying to use the spear wall tactic, but that's pretty exhausting, so I think it's time for us to go ahead and engage these guys. Reinhard moves in and doles out a vicious blow. Woe backs him up and strikes again, and then Reinhardt cuts down the orc when he tries to run. Gilraen moves up, revealing the orc hiding in the bushes. Then switches off to his dagger, but can't get past the orc's shield. Rondus moves in, drawing his greatsword. And he trims off about a third of the orc's armor in one swing. Janos moves in and sneaks in an armor-piercing blow with his dagger. And I think we're done. Round 5. Henry leaps up onto elevation, dings and debuffs his orc foe. Wojtek moves up for a clear shot, but can't get past the shield. Woe moves up. Yeah, we'll have to move all of our archers up a little to fire through the ranks now. At this point, it's really the frontliner's job to dole out damage, but it's important that we have the archers continuing to lay down suppressive fire. The Overwhelm debuff only lasts a single round, so I need to refresh it at the beginning of every turn. Belfontaine moves up, lands a hit. Ooh. And one of the orc warriors is tired of the way we're doing things. He just muscled his way up to Fox and Bunny, which is bad news. Well, let's see if we can drop one of these guys quick and then focus fire on the other guy. Gilraen continues to trim away at his foe's armor. Janos focuses on his own foe. There we go, he crushed the last of the orc's armor and shattered his hand. We didn't kill either of these guys, but at least we've got one of them on the ropes. That makes him a lot less dangerous. And round 6. Okay, Wojtek just took off the last of the other orc warrior's armor. Woe just pierced the chest of the other orc warrior, putting him on death's door. Alessandro continues firing through the ranks. Henry continues focusing on the same target as well. There we go. Fox just managed to land a shoulder wound, and he finishes off the last... Oh, he finishes off both orc warriors. Nicely done. Okay, so Rondus the Outlord hit level 12. Congratulations. Belfontaine hit level 5. And MVP goes to Fox with those 2 last-minute kills. We didn't get much in the way of loot, but considering we didn't really suffer much in the way of damage either, that's not a big deal. We'll grab everything we can carry, take care of those level-ups, and move on to Last Hope's End. And we're back. Here we are outside of Last Hope's End. We don't know exactly what's in there, but it's a pretty sure bet it's going to be skeletal undead. Those things are largely immune to ranged attacks, so of course you'll notice that, once again, I've swapped out to nothing but melee fighters. We're basically trying to use the same strategy that the skeletons like to use. I'm hoping this'll be a relatively easy fight. It is, after all, a one-skull contract. But you never know. You venture into the ruins with Wojtek at your side. The star map disc is easy enough to find, if not a little too easy, but something else catches your attention altogether. There are pots strewn all across the stone floor. Each piece of pottery is a reservoir for spears, and shields hang against the walls on hooks that seem far too ancient and rusted to hold up a cobweb, much less a piece of metal. Suddenly, Wojtek grabs your arm. "Sir, trouble!" He points down the halls and you see a man standing there. His movements janky and quick, as though he were braking in his suit of armor. Suddenly, his head snaps up and stares at you. Despite the fact he's standing so far away, his voice carries as though he were speaking right next to you. "The false king dare trespass here? The Empire will rise again, but first, you must die." These are fighting words, no doubt, and you grab the sellsword and make a quick escape. You don't get far outside before the mercenaries take up arms without your ordering so. Following behind you is a formation of soldiers in armor you've never seen before. They step forward in a formation like a turtle's shell, clasped together with their shields held up to provide protection for the whole unit. Based on the fellow in the ruins, you've no doubt that they've come to kill both you and the rest of the company. Well, it's too late to turn back now, so let's get in there and see what happens. Alright, it looks like about a 50-50 split. We're facing 12 foes. About half of them are Ancient Auxiliary, and the other half are Ancient Legionaries. I'm not crazy about our starting position here. We're in the swamp, which does significantly reduce some of our attributes. What I think I'd like to do is start gravitating our guys a bit to the north to get onto this patch of dry land up here. We're not going to have enough time to move everyone up there, but we'll do what we can. While we may end up being able to use the swamp to our advantage, this is definitely going to be more challenging of a fight than I had hoped we'd have to deal with. The swamp will slow them down and reduce their defensive stats, but those penalties will also apply to any of our guys that we can't get out of the water. And of course, moving around on swamp terrain will quickly exhaust our men as well, which unfortunately is where the skeletal undead have the distinct advantage. The swamp may slow them down, but it will never actually tire them out. These guys will keep coming after us until we've either destroyed them or fled from the battlefield. I pulled Reinhard back a little bit too far, but otherwise this formation shift seems to be working out pretty well. Though, as I feared, it does appear that the skeletal undead will be upon us before we can pull everyone onto dry land. Fortunately, our southern line mostly consists of our most heavily armed and armored soldiers. I'll just have to make sure I keep a close eye on things once we actually meet our foes in battle. And moving into round 2. At this point, I think we're just going to hold our ground. We'll set our spears and wait for them to approach, and hopefully we'll be able to take out the skeletal auxiliary fast enough that we can wrap our entire line around their formation, and then take out those polearm-wielding skeletons. Those are the deadliest threat on the battlefield. Every other enemy on the field is just designed to slow us down so those polearms can tear us to pieces. Yeah, let's get Reinhard moved up here. Get his spear set, and Gilraen will do the same. And we'll just keep waiting for them to approach. Yeah, they have a solid shield wall set up all along their front line, with the sole exception of that one shieldless skeletal auxiliary there. Oh, shoot. Actually, I kind of wish we hadn't managed to turn back that pole armor. And we also have a pole armor hiding in those bushes there. I need to be aware of him. Okay, let's see if we can get a bit more bonus damage here from them hurling themselves against our spears, and then it's time to move into round 3. Here we go. Hold ground, wait for them to approach, and then once we see where they've broken through our line, we'll react accordingly. Okay, so far so good. Gilraen just turned away another legionary. And Dominic the Shield turns one away. And there we go, we've been engaged on the south. Rondus quickly moves up with his greatsword at the ready. And I guess he should take shots at the pole armors whenever possible. Not that he had much luck this time. Let's go ahead and start moving everyone up now. We need to hold their front line steady and try to tear through these guys as quickly as possible so we can access the pole armors. Dominic moves up to engage, but we'll put him on shield wall just to be on the safe side. Janos has been engaged. He could take a swipe with his dagger, but since this guy is shielded, we'll just take our chances with the hammer. Oh, nicely done. That took off a huge chunk of the skeleton's health in one swing. Now we'll move Reinhard up. He engages the northernmost auxiliary and deals out some pretty solid damage. Gilraen continues to hold the southern line. So far, we've managed to dodge all of their attacks. That gives us another round to continue trying to punch through their front line. Speaking of which, it looks like Woe just took out our first legionary. Good work, Woe. Just 11 more to go. Let's risk moving Roderick up. This may put him in a vulnerable position, but as you can tell from that quick fatality, we really need his Warbrand in here. Looks like Reinhard just took a ding. Nothing serious yet. Vlad will move up, but he's going to need to step onto dry land so he can still attack. He takes a shot and drops one of the auxiliary. Only 9 skeletons to go. We're making decent progress here, but this fight could turn pretty quickly, so I'm trying not to get too confident. Rowan moves up. Can't get past his foe's shield. Woe moves up, but fails to land a hit. Henry starts wading through the swamp, and likewise can't get past his foe's shield. Reinhard just took another light hit. Vlad can't get past his opponent's shield. Now Igad is up. We'll swap him off to his great axe. And he crushes our second auxiliary, then starts moving towards the rest of the skeletons. We've knocked out a third of our foes at this point. We just need to keep up this momentum before they can start wearing us down too much. You can see their frontliners are all shield walling. And they're definitely starting to trim away at Rondis' armor there. That's a bit worrying. Oswald just landed a halfway decent hit. Roderick took a chunk out of his foe's helmet, but didn't accomplish much else. Dominic's up. And he takes down another auxiliary. Gilraen moves up, and finally engages one of the pikemen. We'll start whittling away at this guy now. But his armor turned aside the blow, and he also doled out a vicious blow on Roderick. We're definitely going to need to get Roderick back on his shield. The Warbrand's great, but he needs the shield right now. Looks like the rest of our guys managed to avoid pike attacks. Rondis is up, and he tears through 2 skeletons. He didn't manage to kill either of them, but at least he did some serious damage. Nice follow-up shot with the dagger, too. Janos crushes his opponent, clearing out the last of their north line. Now we can start slowly wrapping around their formation, but we still have to be really careful with those pikemen. Alright, and moving into round 5. Looks like... I'm hesitant to move our pikemen up within their pike range, but we really need to take out those legionnaires with pikes. We can't just keep nickel and diming them to death. We've got to hit them with some heavy weapons. Yeah, this was a bad idea. The swamp terrain is slowing us down way too much. I probably should have brought axes in here to get through those shields faster. I always have mixed feelings about that strategy, though. Axes do chew through shields pretty quickly. But of course, every attack that hits the enemy's shield isn't hitting the enemy, so I guess I always end up gravitating towards just hoping I'll get shots past their shield instead of deliberately taking shots at their shield. Reinhard will begin the 3-turn process of circling around the battlefield. And I guess we'll take another chance with Rondus here. He'll ready his greatsword and... Oh, shoot, I lost track of his... I'm not used to Rondus actually getting exhausted. Oh, hey, but at least Rowan got his first kill. Congratulations. Let's see, I don't think there's anything else we can do here, so moving into round 6. Rowan's in way too much danger here. We need to pull him away from this Legionnaire. There we go. Now Woe can take a shot at him as well. And swap off to his shield. I think that's what we're going to have to start doing. Henry tosses out a shot, dings the Legionnaire's armor, and overwhelms him. Spring I got down. He can finally engage this Legionnaire, but he'll have to use his dagger for now. A helmet hit. Definitely not what we were looking for. Rondus just took another hit to his armor. Oof, and there goes all of his armor. Alright, Rondus is down a third of his health. All of his armor's gone. We need to put him back on the defensive. And see if we can take care of these pikemen before it's too late. At least he got in a good hit there. Dominic moves in to support Rondus. Manages to ding one of the pikemen. Gilraen keeps whittling away at his own foe, trims off the last of his body armor. Roderick takes a flurry of strikes with his own dagger, manages to dole out a small amount of armor damage. Reinhard finally finishes circling the battlefield, though he'll have to wait another turn before he can make an attack. Oh, and it's a moot point because Janos finishes off the first pikeman with his own dagger. Let's go ahead and start. Oh, actually, we're at the bottom of the round. So let's just move into round 7, I guess. Ah, shoot, I should have moved Vladen a little closer last turn. I just realized I skipped his turn entirely. Rowan will move in as well. Woe doesn't have an opening at the moment, but we will set him back on his pike and get him a little closer. Henry manages to take out his opponent's helmet. We've only got 4 foes left. Oh, 3, nice. Okay, I got manages to fell our second pikeman with a dagger strike. Okay, we might just make it through this fight yet. Okay, let's see here. Oswald is too tired to move up. Gilraen is now chipping away at his opponent's helmet. And we're still having a hard time getting past these guys' shields, though Roderick did manage to land a pretty nasty headshot there. Reinhard continues circling the battlefield. Janos moves up and takes down another Legionnaire. Okay. Just 2 more to go. I gotta tell you, this is exhausting. This whole fight is starting to stress me out now. End of round maneuvering. Let's get our guys a little closer here. Gotta keep an eye on fatigue, though. Moving through that water is incredibly tiring. Oswald can come around the back here. Roderick's still stuck in combat with his opponent. And round 8. Okay, Rowan can't do anything. We'll hold him back. Henry still can't get past his foe's shield. Woe moves up, but he's too far away to attack. Vlad trims off 3/4 of the last pikeman's health. And I got finishes it off with a dagger strike. 1 more foe to go. Let's finish this. All the raiders are circling around the last skeleton, wailing away on its shield. Stumbling through the sodden, swampy marsh. Someone's got to land a hit here. Come on, guys. I know you're all tired and you all want to go home. Well, I do too. But we can't do that till we've killed this last skeleton. He's never going to run away. We need to kill him. Okay, there goes the last of his armor. Good work, Rowan. Woe moves up and... there we go. Vlad. Vlad gets the final hit. And we're done. Janos hits level 12. Congratulations. And I think he's got MVP, too. Actually, he's tied with I got for MVP. They both took down 3 skeletal undead. Good work, guys. No significant loot, but at least we beat the skeletons in a stand-up fight. Now let's never try that again. The star map disc is in hand, but at what cost? Strange men, if you can call them that, attacked the company, and you swear one of them specifically pointed you out, as though you had committed a crime that went beyond space and time. Oh well, you're not the sort to dwell on these things. What you're here for is the relic, which you've got, and for a good payday, which awaits you with Sigurd of Dornan. Let's head back. Okay, like the narrative text said, let's get back to Dornan. Though, we will stop off at that little orc straw... Oh, that is a lot of goblins. And that pack of wolf riders is headed right our way, so, I think we'll just worry about that next time. I'll see you then. Hey, RetconRaider here. Let me just start off by saying that I absolutely hate skeletons. Conceptually, I think they're pretty great. They add a lot of flavor to the setting, and the undead faction does have a pretty intriguing backstory, which we may end up getting to see if we last until the Undead Crisis event. But actually, fighting skeletons is a nightmare. They have powerful weapons, they're heavily armored, and they're immune to things like fatigue, morale loss, and serious wounds. I only took them on today because I wanted to see if we were finally ready to start fighting undead on a more regular basis. But I think today's battle pretty clearly showed that we should just keep on trying to avoid them whenever possible. But that's fine. There's certainly no shortage of brigands and greenskins to slaughter, and they're a heck of a lot more fun to fight anyway. It's just a lot more satisfying when your opponents scream and bleed as you hack your way through their ranks until the last of them throw down their weapons and flee in terror. We'll just leave all that undead stuff to the necromancers. It looks like we'll probably be starting off the next episode fending off a bunch of goblin wolf riders. I'll have to get a better look at the situation, but I'm pretty sure those wolf riders are going to try to run us down, so I'll need to see if I can lure them to some nice open terrain where our archers will have the advantage. After that, we'll take out that orc stronghold, then head on back to Dornan to collect our meager pay. Then we'll start focusing on our current ambition, which is to complete noble contracts until we've officially earned an alliance with one of the noble families. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.